We are
the
the Syndicate.
Hello and welcome.
You may be wondering how you got here.
You may be wondering your choice of podcast.
In this series, you'll hear a variety of stories that may or may not be fact or fiction.
Welcome
to the Syndicate.
If you can't believe the unbelievability, then there's something wrong with the writing.
It may be said with a degree of assurance that not everything that meets the eye is as it appears.
There is nothing in the dark that isn't there when the lights are on.
But it makes you wonder, doesn't it? Just how normal we are. And just who are the people we say our hellos to?
A rather good question to ask.
Especially on the
Simdicate.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Simdicate channel. I am joined today by DeuceMS and GaminGargoyle, and today we are going to talk about a game that we have played. And I'd like to think it's a little bit dear to our heart. We enjoyed playing this game a lot. And kind of sad that we had to stop. We are talking about Valheim today. So, Deuce, what are some of your favorite things about the game Valheim?
Well, where do we start? You got the murder skeeto. What were they called? The murder hornets, murder mosquitoes. What are they called? The death skeetos.
Death skeetos, yes.
Yeah, the death skeetos. The big green goblin guy that was like Hulk on a rampage.
The troll.
He was fun. I
The
liked him.
troll. Yeah, the troll himself. I was talking about the goblin himself. That dude was mean. The trolls were pretty easy compared to that thing. So the building aspects of it, and of course we can delve into all this, at some point. But the building, the terrain differences, and the different enemies you find in different terrains was fantastic. The graphics they were different, but they were fantastic. And I know it's an early access, so it's only going to get better, as it goes. So I mean, lots of really good things to say about it. Honestly, the only negative was the multiplayer, having a multiplayer server. The difficulty in getting it going and getting people on it, I think, was the hardest part. So
Yeah.
That's it for me. I mean, there's a lot of good things.
I have to agree with the cooperative thing there. I mean, it's great to have, player-hosted servers, but in this day and age, I kind of like the independent servers, so that way you can jump on and off anytime you want. You're not dependent on somebody else. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So,
Well, this was dedicated server though. It was just the way you had to join it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You had to go search for the thing on Steam or whatever.
Yeah, and then finally, once you do find it, make sure you favorite it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So I mean, it was kind of like a hosted server, right? Player hosted, but it was a dedicated, so you could get on at any time, but it was still really awkward. So
But what I really loved was that it's all RNG, so not everybody's map is the same at all or even close. So we could go over to, shout outs to Sheer Cheap and his crew and Gamer T and all that for when we first jumped in and all that, for sure. It was so nice to see that it wasn't everybody starts on the same peninsula.
right,
Yeah.
it was procedurally generated. Yeah.
Yeah, I love that. I think that was just fantastic. Another thing that I really enjoyed was the way everything was crafted. I thought that was pretty cool. How you go to the forge and it looked like the old time forges. It wasn't just a smelter that you could forge and smelt everything in. They had their own individual items for each. I thought that was fantastic.
Absolutely.
Yep.
I think one of my favorite parts was had to be the building. I enjoy building in any game. And then as you're building, when you get to the higher stages of materials to build with, you can build bigger and better because there is structural integrity. And where you're building with the cheap stuff, a lot of times you overextend it and it falls apart and you got to start over. But
gravity works.
Oh yeah.
Or you can only go so high and then it won't let you build anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I agree with you there. The structural integrity was probably my favorite part, and just the way it was laid out, the way it was designed to be able to build, like fantastic elements.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and the different type of ships that they had on there that you could build too. I mean, awesome. Tip of the hat to those developers for sure.
Oh man.
I think they deserve every 6.8 billion copy or 6.8 million copies sold, something like that.
It was
Whatever
a lot.
it is. Yeah,
Yeah.
they deserve it, whatever it is.
I mean, they were winning awards for all the copies they're selling there for a while. No, it wasn't awards. It was
Definitely getting accolades, that's for sure.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's it. All right, we're gonna move on and talk about biomes and what the favorite biomes were. I'd have to say mine was probably, I didn't get to spend much time in it, was probably the plains biome. Even though there's the death skeetos all over and those dadgum goblins.
Oh, man. It's like, oh yeah,
It's-
no worries. We got this 50 arrows later. Yeah, we
Between-
have this.
Oh yeah, between the plains biome and the meadows, I think those are my two. Meadows, they're just beautiful. Plains biomes, from what I got to see, it was almost like a step down from the meadows look wise. Just everything out there that you could get into the big buffalo looking things that I don't even remember what they were called. The oh Lord. They were
Yeah, I remember
aggressive.
what you're talking about.
I
Yeah,
can't remember their
the
name.
names of them. Yeah.
I didn't even make it that far. I never even saw the
well,
meadows or the big
You had
buffalo things.
you had a plains biome right there by you.
I had the plains. I didn't have a meadows though.
Well,
I saw
we
I saw
spawned.
that plains biome a few times.
We spawned in the meadow. That's where
Did
we started.
That
Yeah,
was the
that's-
valley, right? It
Well,
wasn't a meadow, right?
No, that was Meadows.
That was meadows.
Was it? What was the big buffalo thing though? I never even saw one of those.
It's out in the plains biome.
I was in the plains biome. I thought you said it was in the meadows biome. Okay, that's the reason I saw it. That's
Yeah.
the reason I
It was
saw
with the
it.
death
Okay.
skeeters. Yeah,
Yep.
that's where you
Okay.
got to see those a little bit short-legged, furry,
Mm-hmm.
gigantic bison.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's right. Those things. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, those things are cool.
I
Right.
loved the ocean though. I thought that was just awesome the way they did the ocean to have the sea serpent in that. That was probably the most fun with me is when we all got together and we went on our voyage and went and checked out, and then that sea serpent came after us there. I thought that was just fantastic. I laughed so hard, and at the same time was truly terrified. I was just like, oh my god, we got a small boat. We got a small boat, and this thing's big.
That was definitely a moment for me when I saw that serpent just kind of pop up. It's like, what's that? I don't think we're ready for this. Yeah, we handled it pretty well.
I thought we did. Yeah.
Yep.
How about you, Deuce?
Didn't try to-
What's your biome?
I would have to say the Black Forest. Honestly, I know it sounds weird because it's not. It's dark and it's gloomy, and you constantly got what are those things called?
Skeletons or the dungeons?
No,
the Black Forest. It has the Greylings or the
Greylings.
Grey
Yeah.
Wolves.
Greylings, yeah.
Yeah, the oh god, blank mind today, man. The ones with the green glowy stuff over them. Yeah, those guys. You're constantly fighting those, but I mean, all in all, the Black Forest was beautiful, man. Like if you really go in and look at the scenery inside of it, it's fantastic. Like it really is. It's fantastic. It's you got to pipe sunlight in, but at the same time, you're looking at the detail of the grass and the little the little plants and stuff that are around, and just how the rocks roll with moss and stuff on top of them. And I mean, it's just it's really good. They did a really good job on the Black Forest. And honestly, I didn't mind running into the troll every once in a while. So I mean, it was always kind of fun.
The troll was great. I remember the name Fueling. The Fueling Berserker.
The Fueling. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Berserkers, those were awful. But the rest of them were okay. But yeah, I mean just the like the size of the trees. Like you actually felt, like I did anyway. I felt like I was just tiny, walking around in there. It was so cool, man. Like
walking around giant cedars.
Yeah, it was great, man. It was fantastic. I really liked it. That's my cabin that I built was right on the edge of the Black Forest on one side, and then right on the plains biome on the other, with a swamp right next to it as well. I mean, it was just a mixture. And then across from me was the snow biome, and the snow biome was cool. It was actually cool because I never actually got up on and got to run around a whole lot. So.
I did. I went
up in that biome quite a bit. Yeah.
Yeah, in my neck of the woods over there too.
Yeah, I told you that you were in the right there next to the plains biome.
Was it Lorox? Is that what those big brown beasts were in the plains? Lorox? No.
Yes.
That's
Yeah,
it.
I
Like
think
that.
it was.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, that sounds right
Oh,
anyway.
I'm gonna have to look it up. I remember the Greylings. I remember remember the Grey Dwarfs and the shamans and all them. The ones that kept piling up on us.
Oh yeah. But I remember visiting Deuce in his newfound home, and I decided to go venturing out. Then I came running back saying there's something chasing me. Help!
What were those? What the undead things? What were they called? Those things were pretty wild, man.
Oh,
Joggers.
Roggers, yeah.
Joggers. Yeah.
Joggers, yeah.
Yeah, they
Yep.
gave you.
Make
Those
a
guys were in the swamp, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
kinda.
That
They
was
kind of lived
probably
on the
my
edge of the
least
swamp.
favorite biome. It's got to be the swamp. I
Yeah.
wasn't
Yeah.
really happy with that one. With the way there was just so many creatures in there. Those slimy things or whatever, the blobs or whatever they were called. There was a
Oh,
ton
the
of
big blobby
those.
things. Yeah, and then
Yeah,
leeches in the water, and then
yeah. That was
skeletons,
my
and then Draugrs, and then yeah, there's a million and a half things. The Draugr village is really cool though. I
Oh
really
yeah.
like that Draugr village. That was
Oh yeah.
pretty cool. Um,
and for being procedurally generated, wow,
Mm-hmm.
they
yeah,
were pretty well set up. At least on our map, anyway. They looked like they could be small villages. Like it was very well done.
yep, yep.
Now they do have, I think, 3 other biomes in development. I think one is Mistlands, the other is at Deep North and Ashlands. And remember those cubes that we used to find
yeah,
to be able to make smelters? I think those are only available, like, other than in dungeons in the Ashlands, because it spawns those fire creatures.
That
Oh
makes
man,
sense.
whatever. I can't remember what they're called. But the fire creatures you have to kill, and they give you, I believe, I can't remember the cube name either. It's been too long since I played this game.
It has been a while. Yeah, it is. We have slept since then. So,
The
if I
Surtling
remember,
Chorus.
it was
Surtling
Ashlands.
Chorus.
Surtling
Yeah.
Chorus.
Yeah, Ashlands, Mistlands, and Deep North, if I remember right, was what they were talking about that they were going to work on for
Yeah.
different biomes. Yeah. So something that's probably all burnt out, I'm guessing, is what Ashland's going to be. Deep
Yeah,
North, I'm hoping it's a really thick, like pine forest or something.
I'll have to see if I can't find some images on their website or something for it.
Yeah,
Pop
I
them up
gotta
here.
say, it's definitely an interesting take on the Viking world, right? Like, honestly,
Absolutely.
you think about it like that. Fantastic, man.
Well, I mean, like the food and everything else that we could get, all the different, like turn your carrots and everything else over. You know what I mean? Like that was pretty cool.
It's
I remember there was what the heck was there that the royal jelly or something like that we had to get.
oh
Right.
yeah.
Yeah, things like that. They did pretty good for, for food wise. There was a lot of variety as well. There was a bit of the gardening aspect of it and stuff too. So I'm really impressed with it.
I do like how they also had the resting or rested effect, where if you're inside a building, next to a fire, close to a fire, and you're not inhaling smoke because you didn't vent it properly.
My first death. Playing my first single player stream. That was my first death.
Why am I
I
dying?
built a fire. I was like, "Why am I dying? What is this?"
Yeah.
Uh,
I think we all had that one. That was good. That's a nice little touch.
well, that's when I realized how hard that game was going to be for me, because I don't understand little nuances like that when I first start out. It takes me a while. So
I had videos recorded before we decided that we were going to do the multiplayer deal.
Mhm.
And I didn't edit them yet or anything, and I just had them sitting in a folder waiting. And then I think it was Deuce said, "Y'all want to do some multiplayer on Valheim?" It's like, yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, I mean, I've been playing the game and recording it, but yeah, let's do it. It's like, I'll just delete these files, make it like it never happened.
funniest thing in game though is when you're trying to walk and you run out of stamina or you're overloaded. Your character's just sitting there and got these giant drops of sweat coming down. He's just looking like he's all forlorn. The whole world's coming to an end.
Hmm.
I thought that
What
was
was it called,
great.
Mike? The sad panda?
Yeah, I call it Sad Panda.
Yeah.
There's so
Oh.
many great things about the game that it's really hard to like. We would be here forever talking about them all for sure, but the little things in the game like that I think made a big difference.
Hmm.
And Mike mentioned the what's it, the resting bonus.
Hmm.
So what I didn't realize is having a single chair, you got a 5 resting bonus. Having a deerskin or having a deerskin rug, you got a what was it, a 3?
Yeah.
And then having a chair, you got a 5, and then something else, you get a 7. And the 7's the highest, or 12 was the highest. 14 was the highest.
14,
14
I
was the
think.
highest. Yeah. So all these little things that you add on to your living quarters for like your quality of life, your feel for home or whatever, made it a
Hmm.
bigger bonus. And I thought that was really cool too. Um, once you finally get that 14 resting bonus, you're like, man, this is awesome, you know. And you
Oh,
start
yeah.
looking around at your place you've built, and you're going, this looks really good too. Like no matter how it's built, it's still going to look good because you've got all these things in there that are mandatory for those bonuses that make it look like a home. And I
Yeah.
think that's really cool.
Absolutely. And with the resting effect, it only counts if you're sheltered, sitting, and while you're warm.
Right.
And it gives you, I think, health regen of 200, stamina regen of up to 300%, and 50 XP. And then you have the rested effect, which is resting effect for 20 seconds. Sleeping in a bed, whatever. It gives you a 50% health regen and 100% stamina regen, which we know when you sleep, it's like bam, and it's done.
Right. But yeah, I thought I would touch a little more on that whole health regen thing because I thought that was really cool. That's one of the few games that I've seen that does that,
Mm-hmm.
where you have that bonus buff uh, with certain homey things that you add. You know,
Oh, yeah.
like some of them have the bonus buff or whatever you can get from being at home, being full, not being wet, that kind of stuff. But I think that whole deal where you have your drying phase, your stamina goes down quicker when you're wet. That
Oh,
kind
yeah.
of stuff. I mean, it's just all the way around. Like that whole system works really, really well for the game.
Mhm.
Even when it first comes out in early access, right? We picked it up and started playing it. It worked fantastic for the whole setup. That's your core stuff because you have stamina and you have to worry about your stamina running out and that kind of thing.
Right.
And that whole setup worked really well.
Now, the one thing I didn't realize, and I'll talk about it here in a second, is the corpse run. But before I do that, I do like that there is no skill drain for dying. When you get the corpse run, it's because you collected any items from their grave. So if you like died and go collect your stuff, apparently you can get corpse. You remember seeing a little skeleton in the top right corner after you collect stuff sometimes from your death spawn. But I mean, it gives you a negative 75% jump stamina usage. Run stamina is down negative 75%. And it apparently it's very resistant versus blunt, slash, or pierce. Didn't know that. I'm reading this. That's how I know.
Oh,
But
nice. I did
I-
not know that. I knew that it did
Yeah.
something. I thought it just kind of like kept the enemies away from you for a little bit or something. I thought that's what that was about. But
That's what I
the
thought.
more you know.
That's what I thought too, honestly. Now, given none of us played this to the level that people are still playing it today, at least I didn't anyway.
No.
Mike might have.
I
But,
did not. I would have liked to, but it wasn't doing things well for my channel. So
Right,
Oh,
right.
that animal's name is Lox. I just finally found it. Not Lorax. Lox.
Locks.
That's what it was.
The Lorax was in Dr. Seuss.
mm-hmm. Yeah, he's the one coming for the trees.
Yeah. That was me in Valheim.
Yeah,
I was the Lorax.
I was the one always walking through fire in Valheim. Oh, Mike's on fire again. Yeah. Let's see.
You know, funny enough, mentioning the trees and the Lorax. We always joke about my thing is cutting down trees. I gotta say, Valheim's tree mechanics are probably my favorite in any game I've ever played.
Mhm.
Like
Oh,
honestly,
man. Yeah, you cut down one, you take out a dozen. You know,
you
like
have a
that was
chance of taking out a
awesome.
bunch because they had
Yeah.
standing hit points.
Yep.
So if you hit the tree twice and then chop down a tree next to it and it falls on it and it bounces twice, it can knock the tree over. It's just, you don't even have to do that. If you hit it with enough trees, it falls over, and if it hits enough, it breaks into the pieces that it's going to break into anyway. Like the tree cutting mechanics for Valheim
Oh, they need to
is
be in
Deuce
more.
approved.
Yeah,
Is
they need
Deuce
to be in
approved.
more games. Definitely.
Yeah,
Yep.
Deuce approved. That is some of the best tree mechanics I've ever seen ever in a game. It was fantastic. Sorry, I just thought I would go ahead and touch on that because we were talking about the
I
Lorax.
Yeah,
forgot all about that. I was
perfect.
playing dominoes. Yeah, I forgot all about that. And you're right. That was something that I haven't seen it, and I don't think I've seen it in any other games. I've seen it where trees fall and lean up against the other ones, but not where that tree caused damage onto the tree it fell onto.
Hmm.
Or you.
Or you, or
Or
the
you.
grayling that's trying to get to you.
All right. I killed a couple of deer with trees. Killed a couple of graylings with trees.
Mm-hmm.
It was possible.
I've,
But yeah, I thought I would bring that up because I just feel like we don't want to overlook that because that was such a great. Again, it's the little details, the little nuanced stuff in the
Mhm.
game.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
I
yeah,
love the fact that it wasn't all about having a ton of big bosses and a bunch of little minions everywhere.
Mhm.
No, there was leveled up entities, enemies everywhere. You know what I mean? Like you first start off in a little area. Okay, well, you get, in the meadows for where we started and everything else. Yeah, you got your like quote unquote level 1. You go outside that level 1, you might be going into a level 10 area.
right.
Like it wasn't, oh, this is level 2. It's not holding your hand throughout the whole game. I thought that was fantastic. That you might have to cross across the water in order to get to your next area that you're capable of fighting. You just kind of have to kibosh next door and go a little bit of a ways to get to the area that you need to be next in order
Mm.
to, slowly start leveling yourself up, which I think is great. I don't like a lot of games that completely hold your hand all the way through.
No,
And this one did not hold your hand, that's for sure.
no, it didn't. I don't know how many times I died in that game. A lot.
It was the village raids that would drive me crazy the most. You just finally like, okay, I finally got this and this done. Let me bring all my stuff back in the cart. And next thing you know, it's like, oh, your village is under attack.
Yeah.
No, not right now.
So I got on one day on the server and was just grinding some metals and for our main base, whatever that we had. And I was about to leave the base, and it said your village is under attack, and the ground started shaking. I looked up, and there were 3 trolls, and I was like, this is not good at all."
Help me,
We're going
baby
to
Luckily,
Jesus.
we had walls around the base, but they went down to the water and started just crushing the pier that Gargoyle had spent all this time building. So I was like, all right, you guys are done. So I jumped on one of the roofs and I just started shooting arrows. And I took out 2 of them and the other one left. I was like, thank God. I don't think I had enough arrows left to take out another one.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was like, okay, now I got to rebuild this before Gargoyle gets back on.
Right.
I had to rebuild it all. And what the worst part was, I didn't get any of it on camera. Like I wasn't recording at the time, so I didn't even have my OBS open. I don't think I was just playing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're just trying to get ahead. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
just build up some stuff, and next thing you know, it's like, oh my god, it's a full-on war. What the heck? Yeah, I just wanted some trees. I need some reinforced wood. Dang it!
Yeah, man, it was crazy though. But yeah, that was really cool though. Was the whole base attack things. It sucked, but it was still kind of neat. It's like a different element.
Now we're gonna kick it back to talking about the plains biome in a creature in there, the death skeeto. Now I don't think we ever used them, and if we did, I don't remember.
Needles.
The needles,
The
yeah.
needles. I never used one.
I know we collected them, but I don't remember if we ever made arrows out of them.
I don't think so.
think we ever made the arrows. I think we got like like 2 or 5 or something like. We didn't get too many of them. We hadn't gotten to that point yet, but we hadn't gotten to the dragon boss or anything at that point.
No.
In order to really need those particular weapons.
I mean,
between
you
the
say
3 of us-
need. I think that's I think that's subjective. Like,
that's what I was just saying, that between the 3 of us, we did pretty good without being OP'd. You know what I
right,
mean? Like,
right.
we could get through and do everything all right. I think it was very well balanced for how many people were on the server, made it that much harder. So
Right.
if you came in with full 10 people, you probably want to have at least 5 or 6 going up against some of these bad guys.
Oh yeah.
Right.
But, if you started off with 3 like we did and continued on with 3, it was all very well measured out.
Mhm.
Right. What so the difficulty level in that, I think I remember reading, was set by how many people were registered to the server,
Right.
That's right. Yeah.
not how many people were online at the time. So like
Exactly. It
Gargoyle
was
said, if you had 10
how
people that had IPs attached to that server, then your difficulty level is going to be 10 times harder than somebody playing by themselves. So, or I don't know if it's 10 times harder, but it's going to be more difficult for sure.
Oh
So,
yeah.
Yep.
Oh, cooked serpent meat. That was delicious. I missed that.
yeah. Remember, it was the size of like my head.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
it was bigger than that. You put it over the fire, and it completely
It-
engulfed the fire. It
Oh,
was
yeah.
like, oh yeah.
But you could hang 2 of them up there.
Yeah, you could.
That
You
was a
could.
Flintstone steak.
It was a Flintstones. That's exactly what I was thinking. That's all I could think of was that meat on the side of the car on the Flintstones.
Yep.
Oh, let's see. Gargoyle, you did a lot of gardening, and let's hear about some of that.
Wow. Okay, so having to flatten out the land, to till it all up, everything like that, and then go in to do your plantings and make sure that you're watching it. Because I think if you left it and your base got attacked, I think that got destroyed. Like that was one of the first things that they'd come for is start destroying your gardens. So
They could definitely destroy it. Yeah,
Oh,
mine
yeah.
got destroyed once in my personal place. So,
mhm. So the things like that, like that's our food, and they're going after stuff that's significant instead of just going over to your building and just attacking your building or just your walls. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
It was very well programmed in, so that way, it was a struggle. Valheim was a struggle, but at the same time, it wasn't too much where you're going, no, I don't want to play anymore. It's just too much. It always left you with that thread of hope.
Oh yeah.
I think it was just the right amount of struggle to go, man, I want to get back in there and play. Like I was always excited to get on and play.
Oh yeah.
Mhm.
Absolutely. I was too. Ooze. I don't think we ever figured out what the ooze was used for, did we? I know we found it in the Black Forest.
Yeah, I don't
That
think I
green
figured
stuff
out it.
hanging on the trees. I don't know. I know we found it and we weren't really sure what to do with it, or I wasn't.
I never did figure it out. I'm sitting here trying to think, and I don't think I did either.
I know that I cooked a lot of necktail.
Yeah, yeah. I think we all did.
Mm.
Necktail, the most oxymoronic, best name for a creature ever. uh,
Oh,
Yeah,
what was that?
yeah,
Was
that
that
cooked
the?
serpent meat was huge. Which kind of makes me wonder, like I don't think we never did kill one of those loxes. I wonder what the size of their meat would have been. If the serpent gave you something that big, how big was this lox meat going to be?
Oh, geez. That's a good question. Would it just give you regular meat? No, it says here it gives you cooked lox meat. So I don't know. I don't know how big it would be. It looks like the regular meat, the chicken bone looking thing, chicken leg.
Oh, all I remember is that the sausages, they took some entrails, some meat,
Mhm.
and there was a plant that we had to mix all together, and I made a bunch of those because it was pretty easy and it was pretty sustaining.
Oh, what was that plant? It starts with a T and thistle.
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 Yep. Thistle, you're right. Yeah, it was thistles. Yeah.
Took me a minute to think about that.
Yeah. I couldn't remember. I couldn't tell you. I just remember cooking a ton of carrots or gardening a ton of carrots and then turnips. That's what it was. Carrots and turnips. I
Yeah.
did
Carrots
a
and turnips.
whole
Yeah, that's
bunch
something
Yeah.
I didn't do a whole lot of. I didn't do a whole lot of gardening, but I did toward the end there. I did start a small garden. So
I didn't do any gardening, so I know nothing about it in the game. I was always smelting.
yeah, but you did more adventuring than we did, though.
Yeah, exactly. We
I
wouldn't
think you
have
covered
the
more
wolf
land.
jackets without you being around. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So something else I figured out too is I saw this little. I forgot whose YouTube channel it was. I wish I remembered because I'd give him a shout out. But um, a good way to make a tree farm is you build the tall logs, the pine logs, whatever it was, like the logs themselves. The tall ones you go too high, and then you go a bar across, and you make it as long as whatever trees you're gonna have, and you do the same thing on the other side, and then plant your trees down the center of it. But when you chop them, they don't fall on anything; they fall on themselves.
Ah,
So
Yeah.
donga.
Yep.
Nice.
Yeah, I mean, it may not knock
That's
them
what the
all
game
over,
was
but
all
as
about.
you're chopping them down, they're following on each other and doing damage, so it takes less chops. And I was like, man, this is great. Or you could build a pit and do it too. That's the way that guy had his. He had a pit built, and I didn't. I just built one side so it didn't fall on my base.
nice.
That
But
makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, it worked out really well though.
Mhm.
Like again, small things.
Now I did
Small
enjoy
stuff.
the smelting, and I did like how it was in stages because I mean I did a lot of smelting in that game,
Mhm.
starting with like the bronze nails and moving up from there.
Right.
I'm trying to remember. Did we get into iron? I don't.
Yeah,
I
we
don't.
just got into iron. Yeah, we just got into iron because we
Yeah,
finally got to repair our iron armor.
that's right. We did.
Yeah.
We did.
Yeah, there was another shout out to Sheared Sheep and all them clan for inviting us over for that swamp monster battle there. That was yeah, we
Bone
needed iron for
mass.
that. Bone mass, yeah. We would not have
And
survived with just leather.
no, definitely huge shout out to them for the armor
Ye-
and just letting us be a
Armor and
part of
boots.
that.
Yeah.
That let us know that we were not ready to fight that boss.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly.
Yeah. No, not
We
at
got to
all.
put some more hours into this game before we get to that. Yeah. And something else
Ah,
cool about the game was the lighting.
oh gosh, yeah.
I mean, we had to get that goo or whatever it was in order to refill our torches to go again, so our
Hmm.
torches weren't infinite.
The
I thought
tree
that was
sap
great.
or whatever it
Yeah,
was.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. No, I thought
resin,
that was great as well.
resin.
You know, whoever the original game designer was for this had to have spent a lot of time working on it. You know, like to have that much detail into the game that this game has is just amazing.
Iron Gate did a fantastic job of the game.
Oh yeah,
Honestly,
Yeah, most definitely.
is it Iron Gate? Iron Gate Studios?
Iron
Is that
Gate,
it?
Iron
Yeah.
Gate, and
Coffee
just
Stain
published by
published.
Coffee. Yeah,
Yep.
Yeah, also known as THQ Nordic. Yeah.
But yeah, Iron Gate did a brilliant job. The devs, I mean, fantastic job.
you know, talking about the biomes and the bosses, and I'm trying to remember what was the last one we fought was the dragon, wasn't it? Which
I never fought the dragon.
No, it wasn't the dragon.
no, it was a tree boss.
The tree boss.
The elder. Was that it?
Elder. Yeah, the
The
elder.
elder tree. Yeah, the elder.
Yeah, yeah,
Because Elkthir was the first one, and then we went and did the thing with sheep when they fought the one in the swamp thing,
yeah. The
whatever it was called.
bone mass.
Bone
Mhm.
mass. Yeah, that one was tough. Yeah, like Gargoyle said, we were definitely not ready for that on our own.
No.
And
Well, I
then
mean,
and
that
then we
was
went and
even
did
harder
something
than the
else.
elder, wasn't it? Bone mass was harder than the elder, I think.
Oh yeah. Well,
Oh
I mean,
yeah.
the elder wasn't that hard. You just moved around, stayed out
Well,
of
we
his,
just
stayed out
get
of his.
behind those corner
Yeah,
posts there and just duck out and shoot, duck out and
yeah.
shoot. Yeah.
Corner to corner. Yeah, it's perfect. It was
And then you
easy.
just got to
I mean, really.
dodge the roots he shoots up
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
All
it.
or
those.
at you.
Yeah. Exactly.
But if you're moving corner to corner, theoretically, by the time you move to the other one, his roots are on the other side. So you should be good.
This is
So,
true. Get one
Yeah.
So I
person
mean,
to be the main guinea pig, main target. Everybody else just shoot at
Mhm. You remember group hugs?
it.
yes. Yep. Yep.
That
One
was
person
great.
shares the buff. Yep. I mean, one person shares the buff with everybody. It's a great, dude. It's a great concept for multiplayer stuff. You know
It
what I mean?
really
Like
is.
it
Mhm.
was
And it was
honestly like the
built
game is
around
brilliantly
being.
done.
Yeah.
It really is brilliantly done.
Yeah. You know, I think the game was built around being multiplayer with a twist for single player.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like you know, it's like, oh, here's your bonus. You can have it as single player, but really, you want to play this multiplayer. Mhm. It's not that you wouldn't get through it as a single player. It's just that you would have a lot more fun with all the anxiety and all
Oh,
the puzzles that come up. It's like, yeah, how do I kill these guys without dying here? You know, like, oh my god. Get one guy, you know, just kind of, you know, taking the aggro, and then they let the other two, you know, just go ahead and start shooting as fast as they can while you try to survive the onslaught. Yeah.
oh yeah. Let's see. Well, we touched a little bit on events that happen throughout, like base attacks and whatnot. And from what I'm reading here, because I don't know this at all because I haven't looked into it, but from what I'm reading here, it says events have a 20% chance of starting every 46 minutes if there is a player within 40 meters or at least 3 base structures. So if you're within 40 meters of 3 of your base structures, you have at least a 20% chance that an enemy-based event will happen.
That explains a lot.
That does.
Explains a lot. I was trying to build my cabin. I got attacked like every hour. So,
And the story-based events are based on what your progress is in the world.
right.
Oh, okay.
Obviously, so I mean that's like, you know, the boss fights, what, like each tier of boss fight you go through.
Yeah, so I remember that. I remember that was like the Ichthir saying that you know the creatures were coming after you or something like
Right.
that. And then it would
Rallies
say
the
the
creatures of the
are
forest.
resting. Yeah, yeah. And then when it would end, it's like they're going to sleep or they're resting or something. I can't remember exactly what it was. I should really pull up some information on the internet here somewhere.
Creatures are calming down, and then
That's what it was. Yeah.
the elder was the forest. The forest is moving, and the forest rests again. I think I only saw that once, and I was on the server by myself, where the forest is moving. It might have had one of y'all on there too.
I think I remember here. The forest is moving is something that's kind of familiar. It must have been after we is that after you kill Ichthir or after you kill the elder that happens?
After you kill the elder,
The elder, okay. Yeah,
and
I
that
remember
just a swarm of great orcs and brutes and shaman.
Right, yeah, because they were just funneling down along our wall, getting into the water, and then coming up through the water and into our base and everything.
We're
That was
stuck under the
only
pier.
Yeah, yeah, that one guy, he was always there. Didn't do any damage, but he was always there under my stairs.
You run out there and you hear, "Nyeh." It's like, oh, he's back. He's back.
And building with raising and lowering the ground textures and everything, that was nice. I like that. That was great.
I mean,
Having the water splash up on the wood and it changes its color. It would go faster than the other wood. I thought that was great.
makes it look worn, weathered and worn.
Yeah. Yep.
I did enjoy that about the buildings. Because I had to build part of the house into the side of the mountain that we were on. I had to dig down to level it out as good as I could so that I could build in that spot that we decided to build at. But, I mean, it's the same way with like leveling the ground for gardening. It had to be leveled so that you can build.
Yep.
Right. And you notice even when you leveled the ground, I'm using air quotes there, leveled,
Mm-hmm.
the ground still wasn't like perfectly flat level, right?
It
It wasn't on a
yeah.
grid where it was perfectly flat all the way across. It still rolled a little bit and still had some discrepancies in it, which was nice because
Oh,
that's
yeah.
real life. Like that's what you would really expect if you're trying to like smooth out some land,
You're leveling it
small area.
with a pickaxe and a hoe. So
Right. That's what I'm saying though. Like it didn't though, like but because it used like the circle pattern, right? Level, 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 level. It still didn't level it out completely, but it leveled it enough for you to build on and do your stuff on and plant and that kind of thing. I just like that it didn't grid flat level it, like you would see in most games. So it
Exactly.
actually
You
had those
actually had to work
indiscrepancies there.
hard to give yourself a straight line
Right.
in
Oh
that
yeah.
game. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like it was well done on all levels, from the landscaping to the building to the mechanics to graphics wise. I think that, if they wanted to go any higher, we wouldn't have had as much in game. It would just take too much processing power.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that the way they did it, where it's kind of cubish, polygonish, but not really, I think was, the right call for, everything that they're trying to put into the game. And they're not done yet, aren't they? I thought I heard that there's more updates coming.
There is, because
there's tons. Yeah.
I don't know if they've got the other 2 biomes or 3 biomes. I don't know if they've got the other 3 biomes in the game yet. Because looking
I don't think they
here
are.
on the fandom
haven't
thing,
even
it says
seen
in
them.
development, and it's got Ashlands, Deep North, and Mistlands.
But wasn't it in like April they said that they were going to do something about the Hearth and Home update, it was called?
I think so.
But they never gave us, a date on when, we could expect it. You know what I mean?
Well, I don't know. I stopped looking at it, honestly.
Yeah.
I've still got it installed, but I haven't played it again. So
Well, I saw on Steam they did a teaser thing there, and that was like not that long ago, like last week or something like that, and they're showing that the horses are coming.
That would be cool. That'd be a
Ooh.
game changer.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I mean, hell, hook the
Well,
horse
okay,
up to the cart and go do your
I can't
business.
say that they said that horses were coming, but they did a teaser picture that looks an awful lot like it was a horse.
Hmm.
Like it was side of a horse, like you get zoomed right up onto the belly of a horse. So that's yeah, I would say that's what it is. You know, it's that we're going to be getting some sort of riding animal of some sort, which I think the game could need unless you're on our map where you need a boat.
Mhm.
Yeah, like our map, it was really a bunch of islands, and then with if you couldn't look at it as islands, then there was just a big landmass with a whole bunch of river works.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because we were always having to cross water, and the water was always taller than our heads. We didn't have the stamina to get all the way through it. Hence the long bridge to the other island
Oh
to get to the
god.
meadows.
And I don't know how many times I got on when nobody else was on, just hopped in the boat and went exploring. And when I did that, that was before the sea monster or whatever it was called, the
Mhm.
serpent. That I never saw the serpent the whole time I was out there by myself. I don't know why. First time I saw it was when we all decided, hey, let's go explore. Let's all go.
And in the modding community right now, I mean, they're just huge, right? So I could definitely see that this game really lends towards that modding community
Mm-hmm.
because there's just so much that you could put into it. But I
Oh
don't
yeah.
think that, you know, I don't think that there's going to be an end for a long time on modding on this game. I think it's going to be
No.
around for a long time. Yeah. I mean, was this game ever at one point mentioned as game of the year? I'd say it's a
I
pretty
would
good
I
contender.
would assume so.
Yeah.
I would say it's, in my top 5 for game of the year.
Oh, absolutely.
Mm. Actually, I think I only have like 3 games this year that would even qualify for it, but Valheim is the top one out of them all.
Talk about those pesky seagulls. They didn't do
Oh
anything.
God. Yeah. They give you feathers.
They gave you feathers, and if it was raining, they wouldn't fly. They'd just kind of sit there on the ground getting rained on.
Mhm.
So it made it easy target.
Yep.
Or we could talk about arrow drop.
Yeah.
Gargoyle.
Hey man, I'm not a hunter by any means with an arrow. Give me a rifle that can shoot for at least 500 meters straight, and we're talking. But you give me an arrow, it's gonna drop.
Now I did tell y'all when you got the arrows, I said there's pretty good drop on these.
Mm-hmm.
They do make a great back patter for me to give to y'all, saying you did a good job.
I have quite a few holes in that leather armor. Oh, the trophy heads. You remember putting up the trophy heads above the fireplace?
Oh yes.
That was awesome that they used like real size. They didn't get squished down to itty bitty. You know what I mean?
Oh
I thought
yes.
that was pretty cool that, you took on the troll and you got yourself the troll head. You literally had a troll head that you could hang in your house. That was awesome.
Not just a troll head, but a bunch of different heads.
Yeah.
A bunch of different heads.
You could get
And they were
neck
real
heads,
size.
boar.
Mhm.
Deer.
Oh yeah. Grayling, Grey Dwarfs,
Draugrs.
Grey
Yeah,
Dwarf,
I had a
Droot,
Draugr head in
Shaman.
mine.
Oh yeah.
The shaman heads. Yeah, you get all kind of different, and you can put them on the thing, the mount, whatever it was, the wall,
Mhm.
like
Plaque
Gargoyle
of some
said.
sort. Yeah.
Yeah,
Wall mount. Yeah.
yeah, wall mount. Put them on the wall. Pretty
Now,
cool.
also on the fandom thing here, I'm looking at so we're all together here. I'm looking at creatures under NPCs, and it tells you the hit points of each of them. The neck is 5 hit points, and it does 5 damage. The boar, 10 hit points. It does 7.5 to 10 damage to you.
Hmm.
I did not know this. The neck's weakness is fire.
Oh,
For the
I did
boar?
not know that.
Then the
neck.
neck.
Oh, for the neck, really?
Grayling, Grey Dwarf, Brute, and Shaman. Their weakness, also fire. But I mean,
Oh.
Wish I would have known.
yeah. Grey
But
Dwarf
then again,
does
do we really want to use a fire arrow against the neck?
Right.
Now I could see for like the brutes and like the shamans.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, definitely. It's like, yeah, you know what? Like especially the brute. The brutes took
Oh god.
forever to take down. I don't know how much hit points they have. Does that have it on whatever you're looking at?
Yeah.
What was their hit
The
points?
brute is 150 hit points. The shaman is 60. Grey Dwarf is 40. Greyling is 20.
So yeah, no wonder why that brute just felt like almost OP at the time.
Now
At the
here,
We're
time,
so
but we
used
didn't
to
have good.
hitting 20
Yeah,
and
we didn't
40
have
and
upgraded
60, right?
arrows and stuff though.
here's a
Sure,
good one
yeah.
for you. Remember how many times we shot arrows at that dang troll and he just wouldn't die?
Yeah.
Well, here's the reason why. His hit points are 600.
Oh dang! No wonder.
But
So
his weakness is piercing. So,
the troll, right? The big troll.
uh-huh. The big blue
Yeah, I was
guy.
about to say I took down a couple, but I did it with obsidian arrows. So
Yeah, that's piercing arrows.
yeah, it was pretty quick that way. Like one of them, again, living out there next to the Black Forest, right? I go out and I'm cutting trees down, and I've got my wagon behind me, and the ground starts shaking, and I realize I'm being chased by a troll. So then I get stuck on something because I'm hooked to my wagon, and he steps, and I roll out of my wagon, and I start shooting him and running. I shoot, run, shoot, run, shoot, run. I did that for probably 10 minutes.
Yeah, they
or
follow
15
you
minutes.
forever. They follow
Yeah, that's what I'm
you.
saying. I did that
Mhm.
probably 10 or 15 minutes before I killed him, and that was before I got obsidian arrows. And I
Mhm.
was like, I thought I was dead. I really did. I thought I was
Right.
gone.
And I
That
mean,
was a lot of fun.
it takes a lot.
Yeah,
It takes a lot.
yeah.
Yeah,
The,
when you go to sit down and make your arrows, you don't make one or two, you make 1 or 2 dozen.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, for sure. If you got the
You-
space, carry them.
You got to be
Oh,
prepared.
do you have the berserker guy? I can't remember. I had their name, now it's gone. The feeling berserker. How many hit points did that thing have?
Yeah, because
Uh,
it was 3 of us shooting at that dude for a while. So
oh god, I'm looking here.
and it
It
killed
probably
both of y'all.
got
So
1,200 or something. Well, it was a one-hit kill.
I
For what we
know as
were
soon as I
wearing.
stayed away from him.
That was it. Like, I didn't even get a chance to hit you more than once, or I didn't get a. You didn't give me a chance to get hit more than once. That was it. Once. Hit.
And that was
Seven.
my fault too. So
Okay, the good thing we never took on locks.
Oh, okay. Why?
1,000,
Oh, wow.
but they are weak to
So-
fire.
Okay.
oh yeah, okay.
Okay. Pulling Berserker. 700.
Really?
Wow.
They're only a little bit harder than the troll, but well, no, this guy he was faster than
He's
the troll, for
fast.
sure.
He has 3
He's fast
combo.
and he hits harder.
He has
Yeah.
a 3 combo attack, and he does 100 to 130 damage, and he has no weakness.
Oh, that
That's
would make-
why. Yeah.
So it doesn't matter what you shoot him with. Shoot him with rubber arrow. Eventually you'll beat him down.
I do remember one thing about the locks is when we were on sheep server. Don't be near any trees because when they ran through, they would knock the tree down, and you'd more than likely get hit with either the tree or with that locks thing.
Oh yeah.
I was like, "What is this?"
Now the locks
What
does
is
the
this?
same damage that the pulling berserker does, or fueling berserker, whatever his name is. They
It's got 1,000 hit points.
1,000 hit points. It does 100 to 130, but it does have weakness. Yeah, it says
What's its
can
weakness?
destroy all trees, stone, and ores.
Yeah, so there we go. Yeah. So I do remember the trees. What's his weaknesses then? Is it the
Fire.
the needles or fire? Oh wow,
For the
fire.
locks, yeah.
I suppose
He's
got
covered in
fur.
hair. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, let's see. What else was it? Mike Thier, what was his weakness? I don't think
The
he had a
deer?
weakness. Yeah, I don't think he had a weakness. He had 3 locations. And it just gave you your Forsaken powers. Your ability to run and jump is improved by 60%. I
I
don't
remember that
see a weakness.
if you got up high enough, he couldn't reach you.
Yeah.
I do remember that. If we got up high enough, he couldn't reach you. So
Well, I remember us
if we
making
had a
some.
building that was better,
Mhm.
we could have done a lot. Could have killed him a lot quicker, but we didn't figure that out until he was almost dead anyway.
Oh, yeah. Let's see. What did we make? We made a repair table. That's what it was.
Mhm.
We had to keep fixing our stuff while we were fighting them.
Yep.
But I mean, he's only 500 HP. There again, he's the first boss.
And his damage probably isn't nearly as much as like, the swamp creature there and all that. So.
Yeah. 15 pierce and 20 lightning. And the swamp guy, 5,000 hit points. 80 blunt, 30 poison, or 100 poison.
Yeah, there's a reason why we had tons and tons of food and tons of health and everything else on us at that time. Yeah, that makes
Right.
sense.
Now, the Elder was only 2,500.
Was that it?
That's it. And it was easy because, I mean, we had already been the bone mass fight and been kitted out. Thanks again to Sheep's Crew.
Right. That would have been tough in leather.
It would have been.
Yeah. And that's probably where we would have been at for us to go out there to go after them. You know what I mean? It's like, yeah, we're fine. We're fine.
Mm-hmm.
we wouldn't have been fine.
Right.
Yeah, the
What
ancient seeds. What were those used for? I don't remember.
Ancient seeds. I remember the name.
I remember doing something with it, but I don't remember what it was.
That's how we summoned him. We got him from I think the shamans or the brutes.
It was
Or
one of them, yeah.
maybe
had
it was
to go around and farm them or something like that.
Yeah, it might have been that or destroying their spawners for the Greylings or Grey Dwarfs.
Right.
Something gave us those seeds, but that's how we summoned them.
I wonder if they ever fixed those certlings in the swamp there, because remember it was like, guys, every time they touch the water, they die. So their spawn's right beside the water. Just dig out and around it. So every time they spawn, they die. And so that was an easy way of getting stuff.
Yeah, that's true. I didn't think about that.
Mhm.
I bet they probably fixed that at some point.
I would think
Or
so.
maybe not. Maybe maybe it's just a way to do it in game,
Yeah.
Could be.
Okay. Well, we've been about 50 minutes now. Anything y'all want to touch on?
I'm looking forward to updates.
Yes.
I'm looking forward to updates.
I would love to bring this game back. But we're going to need interest from y'all to be able to do that.
Yeah, I think that's the biggest reason for all of us, honestly, was just lack of interest on the channel. It's like, well, I mean, if nobody's going to watch play, you know what I mean? I'll play stuff that y'all want to see that I still like playing. And again, I tell people this all the time. I'm not going to play something if it doesn't do well on the channel, but I still have other games that I enjoy playing that will do well. So, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not playing games I don't like, but I'm playing stuff that we both like. You know, the community likes to watch and I like to play. So,
absolutely.
Exactly. It's like if it's not going to do so well on the channel, I don't want it to hurt my channel. So at the same time, I'll just play it off cam. I'll play it in my free time and stuff like that. For something like this, it was like, I want to play with the boys, but at the same time, we're all kind of doing it as a series, and it was really hard for us to, go in there and get ourselves all, ready for the next one, and then come back to find that we had like 20 views on the videos.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
And
that was tough.
I think for me, me being as small as I am, I think it hurts me more because it's not getting out there as often as it should, because YouTube's not there for the small creator at all.
I mean, if you look at the entirety of YouTube, I'm listed in that group too.
Well,
you know what I mean?
You're doing a hell of a lot better than I am. I'm happy with where I'm at, but
overall, yes. But in the last 6 months, your growth has been about the same percentage as mine, probably. Honestly, like honest to God truth. Like if you look at just growth over the last 6 months.
Yeah, I'd like to
we're
thank
all
this
under
community
the
for that.
10,000. So I mean, really, there's like the first. We're in a couple of tiers, right? So there's the under 1,000, then there's the 1,000, the 10,000, then there's 10,000 to 25,000, and then it jumps. Then it's up to 100,000. So 25,000 to 100,000, and then after that, it goes from 100,000 to 250, and then.
But I'd probably say
20,
25 to 50, and then a 50 to 100. Honestly, because I see a lot more videos recommended me that are within the 25 to 50, and then 100 and up range. You know what I mean? Like not so much the 50 to 100. So like they're closer to 100,000 than they are 50,000. So I mean, I feel like there's a 25 to 50 in there, regardless of what the algorithm actually says. I don't see it. You know what I mean? Like personally, recommended videos is usually 100,000 plus or 25 to 50,000.
Right.
Yeah. But it could also be on, who you also watch as well for how it recommends. Like I like watching a lot
That's
of the
true.
smaller creators, right?
I do
So
That's
too.
true.
a lot of my recommendeds are of the smaller creators. But if I go over, and say look at my brother's, YouTube, yeah, he's got, like you look at it and it's like, oh my God, anything that's a video game on here, these people are like 1 million plus.
Right, right. Yeah, that's probably true. That's probably true. I mean, I am sub to a large variety of people too. So the majority of people I'm subscribed to are probably my size or smaller. But there's a couple that are 100,000 plus. So
Mm-hmm.
so I mean that's a
Yep.
very good point. I didn't think about that.
Yep. My thing with the smaller creators, and this goes back to a previous podcast, if you don't have the audio quality, I can't watch it. I'm sorry. I
I'm
can't
glad
watch
you
it.
brought that up. I want to clarify something because I didn't clarify this in that podcast. The audio quality when I said put your mic get close to your microphone, it depends on your setting, right? For
Mhm.
me, I don't have any soundproofing up, and you can tell, right? Like you can tell it. Maybe not so much right now because I'm up against my microphone, but if I move my mic back to where I want it and turn my gain up a little bit to where it's still good quality, then you hear the room noise, right?
Yep.
And I don't want that. Depending on your setup and how your settings are and the
Mhm.
quality of your microphone, you can put your mic next to your monitor and it still sound good. I just wanted to clarify that. I
Right.
didn't mean like everybody should have their mic up against their face. That's not the case.
Right. You don't
Oh
want to
no, I mean
swallow it, but you want it
if
close.
you're in a Blue Yeti, you do that, you get right up on that microphone, you're going to be like, you're going to sound like the Peanuts teacher. But at the same time, if you are more than 6 inches away from the Yeti, you're going to pick up everything in the room. Your
Right,
voice
right.
is going
That's
to
I just
fill
wanted
up
to
everything.
clarify because it was one of those things I kind of felt, after listening back to it, I was like, I probably should have made myself more clear.
Yeah.
But anyway, about Valheim though, my closing thoughts about it is it's so nuanced. There's so many little things in there that I think people didn't appreciate.
Mm-hmm.
That as somebody watching the game, you don't see all this because the player is experiencing it for the first time, so they don't realize what's actually happening until later,
Mhm.
right? So I think that might have been what happened with us is we didn't see all of that right away. Like we did, but we didn't realize how big of a deal it was. You know what I mean? For all that little thing,
Right.
all the little bitty stuff to be in there that is so nuanced and so good for the game, you just don't realize it until you look back on it later.
Mhm.
Um, and there's
Well,
just so much of it. I mean, it's so good. It's such a well built game. So
with the Raven, even, I mean, how many times was like, I'm too busy fighting, I can't talk, I can't read whatever it is he's trying to tell you, and then by the time you go over to go check it, he's already moved on. It's like, oh, what the heck did he say?
right,
Mm-hmm.
right, yeah, yeah,
So there's a lot
yeah,
of stuff that we miss because we're in the heat of battle, whereas the viewer gets to see it and goes like, "Why didn't you just do this?" It's like because I was trying to survive.
right. Yep, yep. I mean, there's so many good things that it's hard
Hmm.
to list them all, but we mentioned all of them.
Yeah.
Or we mentioned a portion. We didn't even mention half of them. We mentioned a portion of the
Hmm.
good things about it in this podcast, and all of that to me kind of wraps up my final thoughts on it. Is the just the nuanced stuff in the game that really made it for a different experience of gameplay. So
Hmm.
Absolutely.
that's it for me.
Yeah, I hope that we don't see a lot of copycats, but at the same time, I hope that this game keeps bringing us more and more content so that we can keep on playing it and enjoying it the way that we have been. I hope that it doesn't get changed too much, but at the same time, I would love to see more because this game is addicting.
It
Right.
really
Yep.
is.
Yeah. So, how many hats do you think this one? How many thinking caps do you guys think this one is? I know my answer.
I'm gonna have to give it a 5. I enjoyed it that much.
That's pretty stout. That's a 5 out of 5. So I can't give it a 5 out of 5 because it's not full release. Because full release may make it different. You know what I mean? I give it a 4. I give it a 4 out of 5.
Hmm. For me, I can agree with you on that, Deuce. That 4 out of 5 for because it's early access. But if it maintains the way that it is, it's a hands down 5 out of 5. When it comes out full release, if it's just giving us more things to do, a little bit easier transports, that type of stuff, then I'd say, yeah, it's a 5 out of 5. But if they mess around with the core mechanics, then yeah, it would have to be a 4 out of 5.
Now, the only thing I didn't like is when I was attached to the cart. Trying to get out of the cart sometimes could be a little difficult.
I like Deuce's way. Just roll out of it every time. Just
Yeah.
heck with it. Just
Well,
roll
you
out
know,
of
I
it.
got the hang of that after a little while. Like, just look at one of the handles and hit E, and you're right out of it.
Yeah.
But
But
you have
in
to
the
look at
heat of
one of the
battle.
handles. Yeah,
Yeah,
in the heat of
exactly.
battle, no, you just roll. You
When-
just jump out of it. Like,
When I'm running from somebody, I'm not trying to look at the handle.
Yep.
Right. Well, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, if you're in the heat of battle, but I mean, if you're just messing around in your village and you're stuck in it, you can't figure out how to get out. You feel like Chris Farley, fat man in a little coat. Like just look down and hit E. Just look down and hit E. Look at the handle. Don't look
Oh,
at the
yeah.
storage. Look at the handle. So, but yeah, I opened the storage one too many times and getting fought and getting hit with things, and I was like, okay, I'm just gonna jump out of it if I'm getting shot at. But
Absolutely.
yeah.
Well, I would
I
like to
think-
thank you all for being here. Gargoyle, do you have something else to add?
I was going to say, I think that at this time that I wish that we could start, putting, votes on awards for this game so far.
Mm-hmm.
For early access, for ingenuity, for core mechanics, anything that these things could be up for an award, I know my vote would be on it for sure.
Absolutely.
I think this game, if it's not up for indie game of the year, early access game of the year, whatever, something, then I'm gonna be upset. Honestly,
Yeah, me too.
it deserves it. It deserves.
Oh, yeah. But I do believe that is where we're going to throw this one off. Don't forget, if you're watching this in the future, like, comment, subscribe, and thank you all for being part of this amazing community. I'm AO Mike, signing off. Peace out, y'all. Deuce.
Later, everybody.
G.
Have a good one. Have a good one, everyone. And don't forget, yeah, if you guys want to see more from us, definitely put that down in the comments. If there are going to be any more videos coming out, they will be coming out onto this channel. So definitely let us know.
Absolutely. And Bone's not here, but I'm sure he says his goodbyes also.
Who, me?
Yeah, right. We'll be signing off now. Thanks for watching.